How's it going, everybody? Thank you for hopping in with us on this
Hey.
beautiful Monday evening post Vikings game loss. I am still incredibly tired. I'm sure everybody that was in town this
Yeah.
weekend is also still incredibly tired. Would have made today a whole lot better with a win, but of course, we're Vikings fans. We don't get that. So Vikings did, of course, drop the game to Tampa yesterday, 20-17. We won't get into that right away. First off, Jamie, how was your flight? I hope did I already say I hope everybody made it home safe? If you were from out
Not
of
yet,
town, if you
not yet.
came in from out of town this weekend, I hope everybody made it home safe. There we go. How was your flight home?
It was, having to wake up at 3:30 in the morning, of course. Didn't go to sleep till 11. Whatever. It was a grind. It was a grind. If you can tell by my voice, SKOLFEST was an absolute success. Actually, let's go right in the comments right away, man. Our boy fucking Gary here. Man, we met Gary. We got Sodak in the house. We got Mana in the house. Of course, Dave with Minnesota Sports Talk, Johnny Bite Size Sports, my boy Skull Mafia. What's up, guys? Gonna miss you, bro. It was so fucking nice to meet you, Skull Mafia. You were with us the whole time. It was so nice to meet you, Gary, Mana, all of you guys that came in to say what's up. We appreciate all of you. And it was such a surreal experience. And I think I can speak for probably not just us content people, but even everybody that showed up to Skull Mafia, Gary. It was such a cool experience for all of us to do this together. Unfortunately, like Casey said, it sucks that the Vikings had to kind of come in and be a buzzkill about everything and get a loss in a game that we should have absolutely won. And of course, yeah, we're gonna get into that soon here. But yeah, I just want to give out our shout outs here. Let's see, Skull Purple Gang. Let's bleed purple in Philly. I know it's ready to already look Thursday. I mean, our next game is in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Bounce back game. All right, the Purple Hulk is landed. Let's go. Let's go. We need your power, Hulk. All right, guys, turn the knife. I'm ready. Subs, guys. You can miss you, my boys Skull Mafia. Gary, definitely gonna miss you, man. We will meet again. Oh yeah, dude. It was such a good experience. Hey, we got Al Smith in the building, man. The only way we beat Philly is if they do quick passing. It is good that what's his name? Is it Brad? What's his name? That
James
cornerback.
Bradbury.
Yeah, James Bradbury. It's nice that he might not end up playing. And same with Nakobe Dean. It doesn't look like they're gonna play. So
yeah,
there's some hope there. What up, Skull for Life Barber? Hey, let's go. Yeah, next year. This was warm up hit. Wait, hold on. Hey, Jamie, has CJ Ham used all his snaps for this season? I didn't think they gave him enough. I think it was smart for them to play him wide on that third down. But no, I was not expecting CJ to get that kind of playing time, to be completely honest. Yeah, dude, Skull for Light Barber. Hey, this was warm up. See, this was warm up year, and it was a great turnout. I can't imagine what this shit's gonna look like next year. So definitely come out next year. GB's friends hopping in. Yeah, Gary gives the head up. Well, thank you for hopping in.
Thanks for the sub. We heard you hit us with a sub. We appreciate that.
Yes. New England played Philly tough with a lot of middle field close and man coverage. We could actually give them some problems. Yeah, because I mean, honestly, this is a game that and we're going to dive into it deeper. We kind of have our win losses or our winners and losers for this game. But if you would have told me if our defense allows less than 200 overall yards and we lose this game, I definitely wouldn't fucking believe that. I thought for 100% sure coming in this game, it's going to be like, all right, we're going to have to lean on our offense and we just hope our defense steps up. But it was the complete opposite. And we'll dive into that specifically.
Hey, there he is.
That's not how. Hey, what up? What up?
Did you make it home? I assume you made it home safe. That's great.
Yeah, he made it home safe because I was right there behind him. It was fun having you on my flight, Uncle Jimmy. Yeah, it was crazy. I totally forget because JJ's out of Massachusetts and I'm just sitting in the airport and all of a sudden I see JJ and his mom just chilling and say what's up. Had them meet my wife and everything, and it was a cool experience. It was a cool thing to see JJ one more time before we all headed off here. Let's go. Dan, wait, what up, Dan? I like using Ham as an extra blocker on third down. Yeah, I do think it was interesting. Obviously everybody knows where I am with CJ, but they were using him in the receiving game a lot more than I expected. Sarah, Kirk a bum. I'm ready for a new quarterback. He had a definitely an iffy game in that one.
Definitely. I mean, the entire offense did, unfortunately.
Besides the receivers,
offense did. except for the 2 receivers that are going to lead this team into the future, with hopefully Quinn Ewers throwing him the ball next year. I'm already jumping on that train. Quinn Ewers is the guy. He's the guy.
Yeah, man, these quarterbacks are crazy. Even everyone's saying, what's his name? Is it Desmond? No, not Desmond Ritter. The South Carolina Rattler.
Oh, Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, apparently he's absolutely lighting it up too. So there's going to be a lot of options going into the draft next year. And that's one thing. This was a game that we should have, like, we had this marked on as like a for sure win, because then we have the Philly Thursday, then we have a Chargers, and then we have Carolina, which shouldn't be that too big of a deal. Hopefully we better win that one, but then we have Kansas City.
We like Kansas City, and then they just signed Chris Jones to a 1-year deal, so he's back now.
Yeah. So right. So that's not good, especially for us. If there's one player we didn't want to go against, obviously we don't want Patrick Mahomes, but the way our offensive line looked, we definitely don't want to see Chris Jones there.
Manna, did you already see our slideshow for our winners and losers? I mean, basically, you just kind of already kind of locked that down, right?
Dude, ignore it. How do you? Yeah, should we just jump into it right away?
Might as well. So here's what we've decided we're going to do throughout the season. Also on our Bleacher Report thing for post games is if we lose, we're starting on a low, so we can end on a high note. If we win, we're starting on a high note, so we can end on a humbling experience. So we're going to start on a down, of course, coming into today.
Before doing that, though, of course, another Justin Jefferson rookie card. #Skulls in the comments. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. We appreciate that big time. But get those #Skulls in the comments here. Let's go. All right. So,
Johnny. Let's not bring that up right now. Okay, we'll get there.
We're gonna get there right away. Actually,
but we're not gonna
right away.
See the thumbnail. The thumbnails or the picture on here is going to be misleading because it's not. We just can't have the same guy in the in 2 images. We can't dish on him that bad. But anyway,
let's put someone in there. Someone's got to take it.
We'll go ahead and we'll there. That's the one I wanted. We'll go ahead and we'll jump into these. The first one down, of course, is the turnover. And like you said, and Johnny, I assume you're talking about the one where he held on to the ball too long and then the sack came in and his throwing motion, he got hit on the side. Because that's the one I think was squarely on him just for taking too long. I mean, you got to get rid of that thing. But obviously, the Ingram one,
that was definitely on Ingram.
Video. I mean, I don't know. The ball's in your hands as a quarterback. You gotta be able to secure it, right? But obviously, Ingram and the arm coming back, knocking the ball out of his hands, that's squarely on Ed Ingram, and we'll get into that as well as we go through here. Then the interception, I think it's probably a 50-50 split because they showed the video. Kirk hesitated, maybe the guy cutting across, maybe he was worried about the interception, but he did. And I think Ben Lieber said it this morning. I don't know if Kirk said it in his press conference, how he said, but I know Lieber said it, how you can't, in that scenario, you can't lead him because there's a safety or a corner sitting there waiting to jump the route for the interception. So you do got to put it right on him. But he did put it a little bit behind him. The ball placement 100% could have been better. But also they showed the close-up. It was in his gut and in his hands. And the defender made a great play and ripped it out. So that one, I see a lot of people taking one side or the other, depending on basically, I guess, where they stand on Kirk Cousins. But I'm calling that one a 50-50 split. The throw could have been much better and quicker. And KJ, you're a receiver.
Got it.
If the ball hits you in the hands, you got to have it, right?
And the
KJ,
ball, and
he could have been a down as well. If KJ proved anything to me, it's that he's a number, like we said, he's a quality number 3 receiver, but he's not a number 2, and I don't think he ever will be at this point. But
yeah, speaking of that, we need Skull for Life up in here. I had a Skull Mafia at the time of my life. I got on stage, Scream for Purple Gang, gave tickets away.
That was the right choice, by the way. That was the right choice
for life. Oh, I was hyping him up. I might as well just been putting Skull for Life on my back to get those tickets. And Sarah, it was so nice to meet you as well. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see too much of you. Next year, we'll make sure we get to see a little bit more of you.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately. But on Kirk Cousins and the turnover thing, I totally agree. I think the 50-50 thing is right. KG should have grabbed that. It was kind of like, I forgot what cornerback took it or who took it, but
I think
was able to just snatch it right out of his hand. Was it?
Yeah.
Was able to just snatch it right out of his hands pretty much. And then, Kirk, that's one thing I want to talk about Kirk in general, because even outside of those turnovers, Kirk just had kind of an iffy game. He had some good throws. But there's a lot of times where it seemed like he hesitated, not just there, but there's one with TJ Hawkinson where if he would have thrown to TJ right away, it would have been another little short TJ Hawkinson thing. But this time he actually did. How about a shot, Gary? Hey, you send it my way. I probably should do a day break, but um
But no,
but yeah, there's
I
just a
think you're right.
couple
There was
hesitation, some
there was definitely
hesitating
some
throws by
hesitation,
Kirk
yeah.
Cousins, and
Check
even
downs when there shouldn't have been.
yeah, and I don't want to put it all on Kirk Cousins on the one with KJ. Like I love because we were like I don't know what down it was, but we were 3 yards away from the first down, 2 or 3 yards away from the first down in the red zone, and he kind of forces that pass to KJ, which it's a double-edged sword there because I want to see Kirk Cousins be aggressive. Like that's like one of the main thing I've asked for him. So that's what he did, but it did still feel like it wasn't the right decision for him to do that in that moment. So, I mean, Kirk overall, and one more thing I want to say, and we're going to get into this specifically eventually here, but that's one thing is I'll just spoil alert. Eventually we're going to get into the play. Eventually, hey, it's Go for Life. We're just talking about you.
Thanks for hopping
What's up,
in,
dude? But we'll get into it in a little bit here. But yeah, spoiler alert, the stuff with the play calling. And that's one thing. I mean, we're going to be talking about that, but especially in the second half. But again, it did feel like, is it just the play calling or did it feel like Kirk Cousins was being too safe in the second, too many short throws? Like, is that all play calling? I mean, obviously tight end screens is, but some of these other ones, like you're just throwing so short instead of just trying to get over the first.
And then something down. And then I know you mentioned this was it last year, the year before, but something did. I know I didn't watch anything last night. I was too tired, just not to pay attention to anything. I sat down, listened to music, and watched the game for a little bit last night. But I guess Kirk did say that if I could go back and do it again, it's not I'd have made a better throw. He said I probably would have found the check down guy and dumped the ball off to him. So it's like. And I know I can't remember, was it last year when you said after a game, you're like, I hope he doesn't like take this mistake that he made and then goes way too conservative with it. Because that's what I hope he doesn't do. Because last year we said, hey, he threw interceptions, but guess what? He was being aggressive with the football. We don't want him to revert back to, the guy that people are worried about seeing more worried than they already are about seeing on the field. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, he was, again, I thought he played decent. He played
decent.
Well as he could have, but he didn't play bad. Yeah. He still had 344 yards. I mean,
this was just a general Kirk Cousins game. This wasn't even, it was just a basic Kirk Cousins game. It wasn't the Kirk Cousins that we seen last year either. This wasn't a Kirk O'Chain's game. It wasn't anything. This was a Kirk Cousins game through and through. And that's just how it is. So hopefully we see him continue to, just play better in that way and just be more confident. I was hoping he'd come in here and we just were hoping he'd be coming out swinging and slinging that ball around. And he kind of did in the first half a little bit. There wasn't a ton of huge plays other than, I guess, like little cross routes from JJ that JJ also extended with his legs. So
that is very true. That is very true. Or not that one.
Let's go.
At least we didn't lose 40-0 to the Cowboys last year. That's true. We at least got the field goal in there, so that was good.
Yeah, and that's that's one thing JJ, when I told JJ about that today at the airport, he's like, at least we don't have to hear about 40-3 anymore. So that is the big positive of this season so far for us. And that it's in fact Justin Fields isn't going to be the next best quarterback in this league, or at least he didn't show it. The negative part is Jordan Love looked pretty good, which of course,
he played the Bears.
Yeah. The Bears were just they're not as good as people wanted them to be, and it is what it is. But yeah, let's jump in.
A little bit of foreshadowing, though. I mean, this may have been a Kirk Cousins game. Did we see what the play calling future of Kevin O'Connell is this going to be a typical Kevin O'Connell game? Which coming into this year, I was saying that's the thing you need to improve on the most. But obviously, we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, let's go for some winners here. And that is our secondary. And I would say our defense in general, other than the end of the game when, we let them push there's 4 minutes. Well, actually the beginning of the third, when we let them eat up like 9 minutes of the third quarter. And then the end of the game where they just, of course, Minnesota Vikings fashion gets the third down. We let them get first, whatever. But outside of that, like I said, we allowed less than 200 yards this game for total offense for the Buccaneers. And I would not have expected that even with Baker Mayfield with this with especially when you got you're against Mike Evans, you're against Chris Godwin, you're against a young and up and coming running back in Rashad White. Overall, I was happy with what we saw in our defense, and man, it really came down to the offense kind of shooting ourselves in the foot instead of that defense. So hopefully the defense can keep playing solid. The defense didn't do anything spectacular. We didn't have any turnovers on defense. That would be one down thing about our defense, no turnovers. And I think we only ended up with 1 sack with Danielle Hunter.
Yeah.
But other than that, I was definitely okay with what we had from our defense. I liked what I saw but more than I did last year. So
though for sure, I personally think that all the talk about how aggressive this defense was going to be, obviously the Bucs listened to that. The first half, they kind of felt it out. I thought the second half, they called a lot of plays to try to beat the aggressiveness, and I think we saw that. I think they implemented a few more little short, kind of quick passing plays to beat that aggressiveness.
Right.
So I think that's one of those things. Like maybe they tip their hand a little bit too much about how aggressive they want to be, unfortunately. But like you said, this wasn't the defense of last year, right? Like it felt a little like it wasn't just letting them complete pass after pass after pass and a bend but don't break deal. Like I feel like they held up pretty well. Sure, it was just Baker Mayfield, but still, they, as we talked about, they have stud wide receivers in that wide receiver room.
100%. And I want to just give a quick breakdown because Cam Bynum had the number 1 PFF grade for our entire defense with an 82.5. 60 was cover, or no, 76.3 in coverage, 75.4 run defense, 85.5 tackles. So Cam Bynum, a lot of people were expecting him to get and take over, whether that was going to be by Metellus or that was going to be by Lewis Seen. But Cam Bynum showed in this game that he might have made a leap. So we'll keep an eye on him. But also, Mekhi Blackman looked good, and we're going to probably get into him a little bit more later. But Mekhi Blackman looked good. Caleb Evans looked good back there. We didn't get to see as much Harrison Smith as I would have liked. We also didn't get to see one interesting take is because we're going to get in our boy Ivan Pace eventually here, but Brian Asamoah with only 2 total snaps of this entire game. That was something I was not expecting at all.
I've been hearing Minnesota sports talk, or I've been hearing Minnesota sports talk make this point since last year.
Yeah. Right away.
Which we'll get into that more in a bit here too. Obviously.
Overall, though, secondary pretty solid. You have to be optimistic with what we saw, especially against Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, even if it was against Baker, even though Baker was somehow a magician out there with his little dump offs under pressure or whatever. But I was satisfied with this. It literally was our best part of our offense shot themselves in the foot in the second half. And that's what ultimately screwed us over. But
another thing that didn't help, everybody's favorite player,
good point,
number
Johnny.
40. They showed the picture. You got to make that tackle on Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Like all the hype, you got to make the tackle.
You got to make that tackle. Again, undrafted free agent rookie. He's going to make mistakes. This is his first game of his entire NFL career. But you're right. He had the angle. He just all he had to do is he has to finish the tackle on that one for sure.
But,
hey, what about no? What up? Was good, but no chance to catch their breath in the second. Yeah, I know. It was we had 2 3 and outs, and then it was just their offense. That's what I'm saying. At the end of the game, man, our offense kind of screwed our defense over. That's why I don't put too much weight to how this game ended for us on defense, because exactly. Our offense did no help for our defense, and we weren't supposed to be relying on our defense this much. It wasn't supposed to be like that. So, yeah, it was good. Yeah, you too, bro. You too. Let's go. Thank you. Let's go a little bit better going to the chiropractor tomorrow. Thanks for asking, Gary. Good shit. When you have a bum quarterback, that's what happens. 3 possessions in the second half, and 2 of them are 3 and outs.
Which I think is that the next one, or is that one more after that?
Yeah, let's go into it. So let's see. Oh, play calling.
Yeah. So,
I'll let you get into it.
Obviously, early on, it seemed okay, but when you got to crunch time and in those 3 drives,
what up, Bobby?
Two tight end screens to start those, and a bunch of other plays. Like, man, it's so frustrating. Like, first half, Justin Jefferson's got 138 yards, right? He had 1 catch for 5 yards, and to finish the game, or 2 catches for what I think he
two,
ended with
2
150.
catches.
But it's one of those
Yeah.
things where, and this is the thing, Kevin O'Connell last year showed me a lot as a leader and a head coach, which I think is great. But if you're going to be a play caller, man, you got to be better than that. Like, if your offense just isn't clicking, you got to just basically look at JJ and say, all right, you got to get the ball to him. You got to give him a shot. You got to move him. Well, and what happened? I think someone had mentioned after the game, it might have been Johnny. Like, what happened to the whole him in the backfield thing, moving him around to different spots? Like,
right.
I don't know. It almost felt like maybe this team thought, oh, just like last year, though, we'll find a way to figure this out and win this game, and they just didn't do it. And Kevin O'Connell, to me, showed that he hasn't improved much from last season as a play caller, at least for this game. And if this was the whole, like, because I heard a lot of people saying you can't tip your hand too early in this game because you can't put too much on tape for the Eagles, which is bullshit, because you just got to go win every game you can. Like, man, if it doesn't improve next week and the play calling isn't better, because that defense is going to be flying around Philadelphia, especially with what they have up front. Like, if you don't find a way, if you don't find a way to make this offense more consistent against the Eagles, like, you might be staring 0-3 in the face. You have the Chargers coming in, a week from this Sunday. So I don't know, man. I thought Kevin O'Connell left a lot to be desired from a play calling perspective, man. Like, especially the second half, it was awful.
You can't, like, this is in it. You're right. It looked a lot like what we kind of complained about his play calling last year, and it was like anytime we had the second and third quarter lulls from last season, we weren't getting the ball in Justin Jefferson's hand. And we saw it multiple times last year, actually, where Justin Jefferson has like 150 yards or something ridiculous in the first half, just did not see him in the second. And if that's the case and the ball's not moving, then why are you not making plays specifically with JJ? Even for the most part, even the plays where you knew that he was just throwing to JJ right away, right off the snap, JJ would get 6 or 7 yards on him or whatever. It's like, you got to do whatever you can. Make screens. Like, why aren't we giving JJ screens? Why does it have to be the damn tight end? And that's a play that I think it was the worst play calls of the game, was it was the TJ Hawkinson screen. And then the next play, you go JJ 3 yards right on the other side of the line of scrimmage. But I want him to get it to JJ, but not in this scenario. We don't want to go and be 3rd and 7. That wasn't going to, it would be hard to get positive yards off that. So that was a tough one. One. So I didn't like that. And then, I mean, man, it's just,
and I want to talk about just like the game management here as well. And just having your guys ready. Like, and then who knows, this might end up going on Coach Hat, Matt Daniels, the special teams guy, and Lewis Seen's my boy, and I think he still has a chance, even though he didn't play a single snap on defense yesterday. But the whole special teams fiasco there, where, I mean, I thought basically you just say field goal unit, you're out there, right? And I think if you look at the recap of that part, I think we had 11 guys in the field, and for some reason Lewis Seen takes off running off the field. So, like, how do these people not know? How do these players, like, field goal unit? Like, how do you not know that you need to be out on the field? And then we had to burn a timeout. That timeout would have really helped us on the last couple drives. I'm sorry, like, your coordinators are an extension of your head coach. And I don't know, man, it's inexcusable. It's inexcusable to waste a timeout in that scenario. It's absolutely inexcusable.
What up in the zone?
I'm a staunch Kevin O'Connell supporter. I think he's a great leader, which is what you need from head coach. I honestly kind of wish he would just give up the play calling and start to focus on the rest of what it takes to be a head coach, which, I don't know, man. I understand it. He's never been a play caller, and he wants to be, or he has, now he has, and he really wants to do it. But I don't know, man. I just think, I don't know. Maybe he needs to
see more in that. And the timeout thing is ridiculous. I don't really know how it would work, I guess, as far as the field goal things work, because we didn't have enough guys on the field. Who cares? Like, let them kick it. And I don't think they're going to, unless they did like a fake or whatever and took advantage of it, but I doubt it. So it's like, they're either going to make that field goal or not, which they ended up doing anyways. And that timeout, I didn't realize that. I thought we had 3 timeouts left when that happened. I didn't realize we only had 2. And then even I thought their last timeout was too early as well, with like 3.5 minutes left. So I don't know. That was not good play. He has such good. Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
he does.
And it's really, it's like
why is it good?
Play calling lows. he sprinkles JJ into those plays. And like you said it yesterday multiple times, those lulls in the second and third quarter were because we weren't finding creative ways to move JJ around. It's like, what do you expect's going to happen if you just go with, line him up outside? Of course they're gonna bracket cover him. Like you got to be able to move him around. You got to
I don't know.
manufacture
What he was
ways to get
doing
him
there.
open. It's just
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Play calling
We need to fix that.
Right.
Yeah,
not a great.
You just got to make sure you get in JJ's hands. You got to, and it just doesn't make sense. Why are you switching everything up? That second half, he's just. I don't know how that works, but yeah. Anyways, let's get some more good here because this is one I think was really good. A really good up from this game because everybody wants, and I get it. I'm kind of in the train a little bit, but talk about Kwesi and his drafting so far. But the rookies played fantastic. We could not be more happy. This year's rookies played fantastic. We cannot be happier than what we saw in Jordan Addison, who should be wide receiver 2 as soon as Thursday. Yeah, there it is. You're taking the words right out of my mouth. He should be wide receiver 2 as soon as Thursday. Wide receiver 2.
Like KJ just doesn't
pretty much. Yeah, and it was obvious. And you could put KJ Osborne as a down in this game for sure as well. And we probably would have if we had a 4th spot in here because Jordan Addison came out and showed who he was right away. That touchdown was perfect in his route running. His size is not affecting him. This is his first game of his rookie career, and he had 61 yards for 4 catches and just that big touchdown. So that was awesome. And the Ivan Pace Jr. he had the second highest defensive PFF grade with 75, but the biggest thing, a 90 PF pass rush grade, which would be all linebackers in the entire NFL. And this is a rookie. In case he made a good point, he did make a rookie mistake by not getting Baker on that 3rd and 2 play. But overall, it was fantastic. And Mekhi Blackmon looked really good out there as well. He had that huge stop on Mike Evans earlier in the game. I wish we got to see more of him. He only ended up with like 7 or 15 snaps this game. So I think we're going to continue seeing more of him. But these rookies balled out. One thing, we didn't get to see much of Joquelin Roy. Right. Actually, now that I'm looking in here. Who else did we see?
Oh, I want to go back to one more thing with Kevin O'Connell, right?
Yeah.
And then play selection is an issue too. I think I saw someone mention earlier, 44 passes to 17 runs. Like, I don't know, man. Like you got to, and with how much he said he wanted to run the football, we just didn't do it enough. 17 opportunities, it's ain't gonna get it done. You became too predictable, and just I don't know, man.
Yeah, Blackmon, Evans, Addison, Pace. It was a good one for them. So that was a huge positive going forward.
Yeah, JJ laying that hit down. That was fantastic. That was
awesome. I know. I was just like, I just wish that'd be so cool if JJ just forced a fumble there or something. Like, it's just like, if you're not going to pass me the ball, like, I'll just take it in my hands, take this game and put this game in my hands in a different way. That was sweet. But you could just see, I mean, we're going to probably get into it. So I'll just keep going. Let's just keep rolling here. Number 1. Surprise. I'm sure nobody expected to see this. Our interior offensive line, which was I would probably say a majority people's biggest concern going into this game. I was someone who felt like even if there was pressure, our offense is so good or has so much talent that we should still be able to put up a lot of points in this game. And it wasn't the case. And I think a lot of that is because of the play calling in the second half. But Ed Ingram, it's not it. He's the Achilles heel of this entire team, I think, right now. And if we don't get someone in there, and I don't even know, even Dalton Reisner, is Dalton Reisner going to be, we all want him. I'll take anything over Ed Ingram, but is he going to be the guy? He is a free agent still for a reason. So I'd even think, like, even if we get Dalton Reisner, I think it's definitely worth a shot, but I don't know if that will even be enough for this interior offensive line. So that's something we have to, but at least as long as he doesn't hit the ball out of our quarterback's hands, though.
Yeah, that's the biggest gap right there. Like, just like that is that's a culmination of everything he's done so far in his career. Like stepping on Kirk's feet twice last year and literally like knocking the ball out of his hands. It's just like, what are you doing? Why your hand? I don't know, man. It was ridiculous.
AJ's in the building. Our boy right here. What up, AJ? So nice meeting you too this weekend.
For sure, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was. I mean, there's not much to say here, Eddie. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to go. What was his? Let's see. Actually, I'm going to do this real quick. Let's kind of take a peek. Let's kind of take a peek here. Yeah, so my boy down here though. I don't like that. But Ed Ingram, 46.2 PFF grade. Pass block, 40.3. Run block, 57.4. And yeah, you guys are talking about our blocking on the runs. Not good. Not good at all. Ty Chandler was looking good out there. He was moving around, but he could not get past that line of scrimmage, which is also another thing we could say. We could probably put running backs on here as well. And Casey, even though Casey was definitely a proponent of moving on from Delvin Cook, but right after this game, he did mention like you do kind of miss that one breakout play that Delvin Cook can bring to this team that we might not have in the backfield anymore.
Yeah, or just in general, like that's the thing. We needed that. Like, and I said, like, we were both talking about it during the last couple of drives. Like, we just need a big play from somebody, and it's just we never got it. We never got it, unfortunately.
Brian O'Neill with the 86.4, 89.3 run. Our tackles, exactly what we know they're out to be. So, yeah, unfortunate. We didn't. That's going to be a big mistake out of Kwesi is it was obvious he felt good enough about Ed Ingram and he put all his eggs in the Ed Ingram basket, and he's going to have to step up and, realize that he might be wrong with this whole Ed Ingram thing and try something else. Speaking of that, I do believe Blake I don't see anything. I thought did Blake Brandel get any playing time? Why did I think he did?
I am not sure.
Maybe not, but you might want to try him in there.
Yeah, you never know. And also, I know a lot of people were talking about Dalton Reisner being at the airport. I guess Darren Wolfson said that he's at the airport, but he ain't coming here. Someone had mentioned it, and he said not the Vikings. So I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. Something needs to.
Also, it could be one of those things. Like if you actually bring somebody else in, maybe that's the fire that needs to be lit. Like that's competition. Like everybody says, competition makes everything better, right? Like if you bring in a guy, even if you bench him, like maybe that's what he needs. Maybe he needs to be pulled from it. See, like watch what other people are doing out there. He doesn't watch what other starting caliber players do along an offensive line and learn from it, and then get back in there and step up. Like sometimes people need that, but I don't know, man. And like I think like a lot of people like let them learn on the job, but it just when you're not seeing any signs of improvement, like it ain't working. So
yeah, that's going to be detrimental for this team going forward. Especially, I mean, we're going to see the biggest test of the year next week probably. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, or how they're going to take care of that, how the play calling is going to look.
Right, because they need to keep Kirk clean, and they need to call better plays because Justin Jefferson is still the best damn wide receiver in football.
And before moving forward, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that finally is a superstar player that wants to win so bad. He is that superstar. We are so lucky to have him. And of course, giving away Justin Jefferson rookie card, just like we do on every show. Hashtag Skol in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to our channel, all that good stuff. We appreciate it big time. Put those hashtag Skols in the comments here.
And this right here from and JJ's comment right here. He saw him from close and he was pissed. This is what worries me about not getting the contract extension done.
Yes,
like, if this team doesn't show, like if for some reason Kevin O'Connell doesn't figure out play calling, if Kirk just if the pressure of being on a contract year, which it shouldn't, is too much for him, it just doesn't look good. And if we end up being a middling team and there's no real signs of like wanting to draft a quarterback, what reason does Jefferson have to sign a contract extension here? Right. So I don't know, man. But the thing I love though, is he's not going diva about this. Like he's mad, but he's, then they asked him after the game and he just said like, no, nothing's changed. Like, I just want to win. We got to figure it out. Like he's not pouting and he's not like avoiding the media or being cryptic, but you could tell the dude wasn't happy, and you got to be able to keep the guy happy. And why was he not happy? Because he knows when it came to crunch time and we needed plays, you didn't even look at me. You designed no plays for me. What are we doing here? So
yeah. And I think Kirk was pressured like 11 times. I don't know if that's the correct stat. He was under pressure 11 times, PFF says. But yeah, I mean, dude, Justin Jefferson's our guy, absolutely. And that's one big miss by Quezzy. I mean, he's gonna come out and get 100. It shows you how important he shows it over and over again how important he is to this team. You got to make him happy. You should have paid him. That was one of the biggest disappointments of this weekend, I think, is not paying JJ before this first game. And the second one was not giving the ball to him in the second half of this game, which is ridiculous. That was the difference, I think, from us winning and losing this game, was just simply not putting that ball into Justin Jefferson's hands.
And the offsides on the field goal, which extended their drive.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. No shit, Casey JG definitely being the adult in the room. It
sure.
is.
Yep.
He is.
Yep.
Hey, what up, Two-Tone Tony?
I mean,
we need to get it done.
And could this be him actually wanting to be here? We got to start winning, or is it him being like, I want to show other teams I'm not a diva, so they'll pay me money? I mean, no matter what, someone's going to pay him money. But
the good thing is, I mean, no matter what, he has another year on his contract after this season.
Right. So if we do have to get a rookie in,
but...
and I saw somebody asking, do we tank? I don't think we need to. I think we can play just how we played. Maybe sneak into the playoffs, but worst case scenario, get that 8-9 wins. And Quinn Ewers out of Texas is going to fall right in the lap of the Minnesota Vikings. I'm telling you what.
That's what we were going for. I mean, yeah, we already talked about there's so many quarterbacks going into this draft. It'll be interesting, but I definitely think you have to go and grab one. I don't know, man. I'm hoping that, it'll be interesting to see what we do on Thursday night. I mean, if we can get this upset win, I think we'll all feel like it'll just be a whole 360 of how we're feeling so far. But that's just because the real chance, I mean, if we play anything like we did in this first game, we could end up being in these first 5 games. Assuming that we can beat Carolina, we'd be 1-4 at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's,
I'm curious at this point. I hope he doesn't screw up the deal with JJ. Pay that man. Like, I'm curious how much say like the Wilfs have, and like are they telling him, here's what we have to spend on him? Like, don't go above this, don't go above that, or is he just say like, you handle it all, whatever you decide, we'll pay for, or something like that? Because I mean, if they have no say in it and he doesn't get this deal done, like, it feels like a fireable offense, right? And obviously negotiations are negotiations. One starts like JJ's here, the team's here, and you're going to compromise and meet somewhere in the middle. And I'm sure the issue probably comes down to years and guarantees. I'm sure that was probably the biggest hang up. But I mean, I'm just, I don't know, man. You got to get it done. But like I said, I'm genuinely curious if the Wilfs are maybe, if they're handcuffing, which I don't think so, because they've always been like, just go pay money, just go pay the money, get what we got to do. So
it sounds like Kirk's been good in Thursday night games anyways, but at least with this game, it's like it's a tough game. Everybody's going to have us losing this game. Even our own fans are probably going to have us losing this game. So, I mean, if Kirk does bad, no one's going to be that surprised regardless, but
I'm not going to be worried till Thursday night at about 10:30. If we come out and we're competitive and it's a close game and there's no stupid mistakes that we lose and we just get outplayed and we lose, like, I'll feel okay because you're 0-2, sure, but you got too easy. You got the Chargers, which is going to be a tough game, but they're coming into your home stadium. We've been pretty good against them in the past few years. So if you can win that one and beat the Panthers, you're 2-2 going into that Chiefs game, but still you're right there. You're afloat. But if we come out and we get absolutely manhandled and destroyed in this game, then I'm going to start to be a little bit concerned. Because then after that, you're low, and then you got a tough Chargers team coming in. So
yes, and then Kansas City after that. After that. I'm
like yesterday. That's been my main goal for the season is not to get as upset as I have in years past. Like I'll get frustrated, sure, and vent my frustrations, but like I don't know. But my goal is to just let things happen and see what goes on. So I think I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna have a little bit of optimism going to this Eagles game because the Eagles didn't look like world beaters against the Patriots, and this is a Patriots team people don't think is very good. So.
Yeah, and it should. I mean, they still have Bill Belichick, but yeah, we're gonna have to step up.
Kevin O'Connell just he's never lost 2 games in a row, so now I guess technically he has playoff game in this game, but like he needs to come, like he needs to have this team ready to play on a short week. And last year we did the same thing. We got our asses handed to us against the Cowboys, came back on a short week on Thanksgiving and beat the Patriots. Sure, that was here.
Yeah,
we're not going to Philly, but here's the thing: no Vikings fans touch the freaking Rocky statue this week. None of that. Not.
I know they think that's what. Yeah, JJ always talks about that. It's like people's messing with the statue and stuff. No, I think this week you got to do whatever you can to get JJ the ball as much as possible. I know he's up against Darius Slay, who did hold JJ pretty well this week. I'm hoping that we just seen enough out of Jordan Addison. We don't try to get too cute and have KJ start as wide receiver 2 in this game. It was, I mean, no matter what's like, it does kind of see like wide receiver 2A and B in this first game even, but let's just not even mess around, because if Darius without Bradbury for their defense and Slay's going to be watching JJ, and then obviously TJ Hawkinson, which we didn't get to see much of him in this game. I felt like outside of trying to push these little short passes to him. I think Jordan Addison could be the big difference maker of this game. As far as, no Slays, everybody's going to be watching Justin Jefferson. Everybody's going to watch TJ Hawkinson, and we can feel good about Jordan Addison, hopefully beating the one guy probably that's going to be on him. So,
yeah,
hopefully,
we appreciate the positivity. We appreciate the positivity. Oh yeah,
well, let's do it.
Josh Oliver played pretty well as well. Like he showed us some of that receiving skill that we knew he had.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, no, absolutely. We liked him. I know. That's what I'm saying. Like how it just sucks. It came down to play call. It was the second half. Right. It really was just the second half.
Yeah, and overall thoughts. And like I know we were looking at the yardage totals before this. Like other than time, like they had more time possession, but like it felt like for the most part we dominated this game, and it was. And I really do hate the whole like they didn't beat us, we beat ourselves. Like I'm not a fan of that, because like at the end of the day, you have to make the right decisions and be good enough on the field to not lose. Like beating yourself is a thing, but to say they didn't beat us, it's a little bit like it's a discrediting thing. But there was a lot of we saw a lot of good things. But just too many of the things that weren't so good is what lost us the game. The turnovers, the sloppy execution on certain plays, the timeout mismanagement, all this different stuff led to us losing this game. But it felt like this was a game I was so confident. Even after they kicked that field goal, I'm like, oh, we got a quarter and a half left. We'll be fine. We'll drive down the field, get in range, kick a field goal. We'll make a big play here or there. We'll figure this out. And it just didn't happen. So I mean, I thought we played pretty well overall, but it's just those miscues. And that's the thing. We probably turnovers was our first thing we talked about. Like you cannot lose the turnover battle 0-3. Right? You can't.
And the worst, that's the part that sucks about it is we were still tied 10-10 going into halftime after 3 turnovers, and we come out and do that in the second half. The thing. It's like it just shows it was a game. It was an absolute game. We're the better team, and we lost it. It's just such a Viking thing to do.
I mean, no turnovers. If you turn that into 2 field goals and everything else plays out the way it does, you win the game by 3 points. Instead of with those turnovers, it's just right. Exactly.
We just got to bounce back. We got to bounce back.
It is only one game. But that's why I said Philadelphia. How this Philadelphia game goes will be telling for me.
Yeah. Hey, we all took a bunch of picks this weekend. Thoughts on how we share with Purple Gang family? That's a good question. Gary, did you ever make a Twitter? Because that would be a good way.
You can go Facebook too. You can find the Purple and Gold page. Toss it on there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
that's a good idea. If you have any pictures, go to Facebook, Purple and Gold Media's Facebook page, and drop pictures into there. That's a really good idea. I believe we will beat the Eagles and turn around. Let's go, SKOLFEST. Hey, I like the optimism here.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the optimism. Yeah, in the red zone too. Because exactly, if you turn it over in the red zone, you are just taking points away.
Yeah, we shot ourselves in the foot. Yeah, there's no question. That's what we just I don't know. We would have had a really good game if those things didn't happen. And that's what kind of sucks about it. It's not anything about how good of a team we are. We don't have a bad team, but you just make these stupid mistakes.
Yeah. And that should also fill you with optimism.
Optimism. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't mean we're going to be trashed this season.
Ratio needs to be a thing.
It needs to be I don't care if Justin Jefferson throws half the balls on our team.
But every time he touched the ball on a drive, we did something with it. It's just,
dude, 100 in what? It was 130 yards in the first half.
Yeah. Well, and
something like that.
TJ didn't do as much as I want him to either. He didn't and maybe that's a play call. I mean, I didn't, to be honest, when you're watching from the stands, it's hard to keep a close eye on a lot of things. But
we definitely didn't see as much TJ as we
used him on tight end screens though. We used him on those.
Yeah. And I don't know why, Kirk was trying to push it to KJ way too much in this game. When we're in the red zone, why are we not even at least trying to force it to Hawkinson? He's the biggest dude out on the field.
And as Sarah said, Sarah said it earlier. That's the big reason why KJ isn't a wide receiver too, because the contested catches thing, he just can't do it. Even last year in the playoff game on third down, Kirk, again, it was another one where he threw the ball a little bit behind him, but it hit him. He should catch that. It's just, when it comes down to contested catches, screens. I honestly, the screenplay, I know they can be effective. They can be effective sometimes. It's my least favorite play in football. I hate screens with a passion.
I don't mind them in some. I don't know. It feels like our KOC's timing of his screens are just off too.
First down, like an extended running play on first down, basically.
Yeah, it's not like.
And they're behind.
Screens are really nice if you call them correctly. Yeah,
right.
Like there's no way we have so much talent, and our screens just get blown up every time. We barely see at least a very successful screen. So that first off, that should just means KOC should notice to not do them as much. But secondly, maybe you're just not good at calling or when to call them. And I do think. I don't know. Because, I like screens sometimes, not these tight end screens. That doesn't make any sense. I think if you're going to do a screen, you probably should give it to the most athletic person on your team, or at least the best at making people miss or whatever, and not just giving it to your tight end. So that's another thing. I don't know. We got to fix the tight ends thing. But as far as that's one thing, it didn't really seem anything different than last year from a play calling perspective, which does make you a little bit worried that KOC is not going to try to change a little bit.
So this time he flipped the script. Offense was pretty solid in the second and third quarter. It was the first and fourth quarter where nothing worked. So he flipped the script a little bit. He flipped the script.
Well, the third quarter was pretty awful. Well, we went down there and got a touchdown. Did we after they wait? We just allowed them 9 minutes in the beginning of the third quarter. But I don't know. It was the whole
Oliver did have a solid game. He looked really good out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
We liked him.
I don't know, but
we liked him.
At the end of the day, overall final thoughts, this team wasn't ready to go. And does it? I've been conceding a lot of my points at this point. It's like this episode of Always Sunny where Mac, it was like their old days, and Mac said all this stuff, and he gets to the future, he's like, I got a lot of things wrong. The preseason thing might have been a deal. Like, and that's another thing with Kevin O'Connell. Like, if you feel like your team is prepared enough from those joint practices, stuff like this week one thing shouldn't happen. Like, no real time experience with the players in there. Like, in an actual game type situation, like, yeah, man, like if you're not going to play your team in the preseason, they need to be way more prepared than this.
Exactly. And that's what I think just to get your offense out there, even for a couple drive to see just how everybody's meshing together and stuff. I don't know. I think there's definitely a positive to it. I understand the injury thing as well.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure this team's in sync, man.
Yeah.
You don't
at the point with the defense when they were on the field so much, and that's what it was. It was dink and dunk kind of underneath,
constantly.
Just was quick, and it's play after play after play, grind out a first down, and it's just, yeah, man, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it was tough. It was a tough loss, and going forward, it is. This is one that we're supposed to win. We do have such a hard schedule this year in general and coming up. So that's I love the optimism, and I'm hoping if we can take on the Eagles, that'll be massive, or the Chargers, if we can win any of those games. But it does, like, knowing that there's a chance we could start this season 0-3.
Yeah.
You need to be, especially, and then you got Carolina. You should win that. If you lose that, then all right, you're throwing everything out the window. And then KC, and then I forget who we play after that, but then we got San Francisco right after that. So there's a real possibility.
You need to be 2-2 going into Kansas City. You need to be 2-2.
You need to be 2-2 going into Kansas City. Otherwise, what are we going to do? If we're 1-5, 1-6 after San Francisco, or something stupid like that, or even 2-6 or 2-5 after San Francisco, what do you do there? I don't even want us to rally and end up just with a 9-win season or whatever, and miss playoffs, and then now we're in the middle of the draft or whatever. So it's just one of those situations again where our whole fan base is going to be split if that happens. But let's just hope it doesn't.
I think it'll be less
talent.
If we really, I don't know. I think it'll be if we're not serious about contending this year, and we're like a middling record or whatever. Like, I don't think any fans are really going to be like, they'll still be the ones that are trying to be like, hey, it's, it is what it is. But like, I think at that point, I think a lot of the fan base is just going to be like, all right, we're on to the next thing then, because you're not going to pay the money to bring him back if he doesn't have that, a good enough season to lead us to at least, being within striking distance of the division. So
any updates on yesterday's injuries? Just that Bradbury's didn't practice.
Yep. Davenport
and
was limited, I think
limited,
they said,
and
and then
Darisaw was limited. Was it
yeah,
Darisaw?
yeah,
Yeah.
Darisaw as
So
well.
they should be all right. I mean, that was another thing. Bring that up. Marcus Davenport injured for week 1, late on the injury report. That was kind of an annoying thing to see right away. Especially that was Casey's pick in this game
Yeah,
too. So we
yeah.
didn't get to see. I wanted to see how it would look with him. We
But
didn't
hey,
get
I
a
mean,
chance to do
Mateo ain't
that.
in here right now. But Mateo, you're like 1 for 3 on your players that you were calling out. So.
Jordan Addison's that guy.
Jordan
He's that
Addison's
guy.
that guy.
That's like we talk about optimism, and it's our rookies came in, and we just know not only right now we got guys that are going to make this team better immediately in Mekhi Blackman, Addison, and Ivan Pace Jr. And that feels great for now and the future. So we do have some bright young stars on this team, and if we do go get our quarterback of the future this offseason, he's going to have a lot of talent around him moving forward. So that's a good thing. For sure. And that's one of the most positive things about this entire game.
I think that was part of their plan too. And that's what I said. I think Kwesi's really playing it out. And I think he must have some sort of like confirmation, like you'll maybe get a quarterback or something like that. But I think that's the plan. Sign all the pieces around Kirk, let Kirk be the last guy standing, see what he does, and make your decision after the season. So
all right, we're gonna do the giveaway here. I know, Gary. I know you want us to go for 2 hours. We're exhausted.
I need some.
We were grinding. We were grinding this whole weekend, and it was one of the fucking best weekends I've ever had in my life. And meeting all of you was just so fucking sweet. Man, appreciate it big time. I can't wait till next SKOLFEST. It's gonna be bigger. It's gonna be better. What an experience. What an experience. Other than and next year, hopefully the Vikings win.
Yeah.
We have to, we have to bring that good SKOLFEST luck.
But I'll tell you what, man, I'm going to be super excited to be watching Quinn Ewers out there next year in that game, chucking the ball around to JJ and Jordan Addison. Be sick.
Hashtag Skol Mafia. Get those hashtag Skols in. Giving away this card. We have 9 entries. We'll be giving away pretty quick here. Hashtag Skol in the comments. Like the video. Subscribe. Hey, Sarah, when you put hashtag Skol Mafia, I think it might have let you enter. So maybe you don't have to do exactly just hashtag Skol. But yeah, SKOLFEST will be epic next year. Yeah, this wasn't nothing for our first SKOLFEST, and us only like 2 months ago deciding to do this, right? Something like that. The way it turned out and the way everybody who came, it was so awesome. It was such a good time. I can't imagine how it's going to look in the future. And we're going to get more and more of you out there who couldn't make it this year. And of course, we're just going to keep pushing it. I mean, we already talked to a couple of people who are interested in a bigger venues or bigger bars and stuff that were interested in bringing us back there. So, I mean, we made such an good impression that the bar that we were at, the Northeast Palace, even hit us up to for our Minnesota boys to go in there and do halftime shows and all that kind of stuff. So there was opportunities being made there, and it was just so cool. And everybody coming in and supporting, and just, you know, it's family all the way from everyone making content and the people in the chat. It's just one big family. We're all one. We're all Purple Gang, and it was awesome. I'm just ecstatic you got a shirt, bro. Yes. Actually, where is my shirt?
Once I get into the new house and get my recording studio set up, that's going on the wall for sure.
Let's go. SKOLFEST. We're gonna get the 2024. Get those 2024 ready. Can't wait till next year. Bigger and better SKOLFEST. It's gonna be, yes. And we got the OGs. The OGs. It's gonna be crazy. Who knows? Next year, we'll see what 3 years from now, 4 years from now, 10 years from now. We're gonna keep it going. But I'm gonna get rid of this card here. Oh yeah. There's no question. Let's run this thing. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Who we got? By the way, we did all right in those in our sports bet. So everybody in here, go to
did we?
Goes, hey, how about no?
There we go. Are you still here?
No? Did you in here? Let us know if you're in here. How about no?
Oh, by the way, I mean, for those of you that didn't make it,
we won. What's that?
For those of you that didn't make it to SKOLFEST this year, you guys should have seen all the autographs that Gary got on his bar jersey.
Oh, dude, there's some people got some sweet jerseys and shirts. Everybody's signatures and stuff. It's so cool. One thing I do want to mention, I don't know if we have to hit up Rap and everybody yet because we've only discussed this with Rap, but potentially we could be throwing a Skull Fest show on Wednesday. I have to double check. We mentioned it yesterday, which would be cool if we can get everybody in there and just talk about the experience and have you all in here. But I'm going to be going to a game next. Roger, you got to be going to the home opener and you got to go to SKOLFEST. Yeah, Purple Game is as big as it gets. And it's not, and we haven't even scratched the surface, Skull Mafia. My boy, we didn't even scratch the surface. And you know this. You know this. So don't get high for all the fumes. I'll start making SKOLFEST t-shirt next year so I don't get high from all the fumes. Yeah, don't do that, Sarah. We need you there. We want you there. It was so nice meeting you for, the few minutes that we were able to. But next time we want you to be there for the whole thing. We the new VWO. Let's go. Hey, the VWO is sick too. I mean, that's what's cool is we got that connection with those guys as well. But yeah, I mean, actually, you were there, Skull Mafia. The corner bar where that girl that was our waitress was saying that we could host it there, which would be a pretty epic move, especially it's that close to US Bank Stadium. So we'll see. We're gonna have to rent out US Bank Stadium at some point one of these years. All right. Do we have? I don't think. How about no? Are you? Oh, you in here? Yeah, you are. I miss you. I met. Hey, have you won
perfect.
one before?
Yeah.
Have you won one before?
I don't think so. Because I think last week was his first week hopping in here, wasn't it?
Yeah, but we got a new one last week. I forget if that was him or not. How about no? Either way, I'm gonna put my email in here. So you can just hit me up on there, or if you're following us on Twitter or whatever, even though for some reason our stuff is weird on Twitter, it's people can't DM us or subscribe to us or something. But yeah, how about no? Email us on GG Sports Central, and I'm assuming if you're still in here, no matter what, I mean, we'll hit you. I'll have that card around to make sure we get it to you. All right, there we go. Yes, let's go. Okay. Hey, I'm so happy you're back in here. We got to get you to a SKOLFEST, bro. We got to get you a SKOLFEST. So, but yeah, hit us up in that email, ggsportscentral@gmail.com, and I'll get this card out to you right away. I have a few cards to hand out today, but yeah, we appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
you did. Yes,
for sure.
you did.
For sure. All right. Anything else? Hey, the biggest thing is it's a quick turnaround. Like, they got to put this behind them fast. You have a big game Thursday night.
Yeah, you can't even think of this game. Doesn't even matter at all. This is nothing.
Nope, you got to just roll into this next game, and you got to come out with a W. You got to try to. You really got to come out with a W here. But
yeah,
I mean, sometimes that's the best thing you need is to just get right back on the horse.
Yeah, we get one. So. We literally get 1 day to be pissed off, and now it's like right to pregame immediately. Like after today, it's pregame shit, and we got that biggest game of the year. Honestly, can I buy a shirt and get it mailed, Sarah? I had to dip out and didn't get a chance to buy one. Yeah, definitely hit her.
Yeah,
hit her up on Twitter. They're gonna have to play tough. Still gonna be. Yeah, it is. Yeah, hopefully the same thing with the Eagles. Yeah, he knew here a food addition to the community. Yeah, let's go. A good addition to the community. Absolutely, man. We are proud. We're happy you're in here. Hey, this is family in here, man. This is a Viking family, and it's the best one out there. So you picked a good one. Glad to have you. How about no? Welcome to Purple Gang, the best gang in the world. Oh yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. It's a facts now. It's definitely for real now.
Absolutely.
But alrighty. Let's
all right. So thanks everybody for dropping in tonight. A little bit of a therapeutic. Get our grievances out from this game, and just all of us decide it's time to move on to next week. And let's see what happens. So thanks everybody again for hopping in.
Sarah with the optimism right at the end. Let's go, Sarah. Let's go. We're winning this.
Worst case scenario, we will see you guys on Wednesday with Dave on the Skull Experience if we don't decide to do a big event and just kind of discuss SKOLFEST. But we will definitely see you guys on Wednesday.
All right. Skol Vikes.